श्याम सुंदर मदन मोहन वृंदावन बिहारी वृंदावन बिहारी गोवर्धन गिरिधारी श्याम सुंदर मदन मोहन वृंदावन बिहारी गोवर्धन गिरिधारी गोविंद 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 गिरिधारी गोविंद 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 गिरिधारी गोविंद गिरिधारी गोविंद गिरिधारी ये वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। भज मन राधे गोविंदा भज मन राधे गोविंदा भज मन राधे 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 गोविंदा भज मन गोवर्धन गिरिधारी भज मन गोवर्धन गिरिधारी भज मन गोवर्धन गिरिधारी भज मन गोवर्धन गिरिधारी भज मन वृंदावन संचारी भज मन वृंदावन संचारी भज मन वृंदावन संचारी भज मन वृंदावन संचारी भज मन राधे 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 गोविंदा भज मन राधे 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 गोविंदा भज मन राधे 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 गोविंदा भज मन राधे 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 गोविंदा भज मन राधे 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 गोविंदा भज मन राधे 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 गोविंदा भज मन यमुना तीर विहारी 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 भज मन राधा चेतोहारी भज मन राधा चेतोहारी भज मन राधा चेतोहारी भज मन राधा चेतोहारी भज मन राधे 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 गोविंदा भज मन राधे 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 गोविंदा भज मन राधे 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 गोविंदा भज मन राधे 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 गोविंदा भज मन राधे गोविंदा भज मन राधे गोविंदा भज मन गोवर्धन गिरिधारी भज मन गोवर्धन गिरिधारी भज मन वृंदावन संचारी भज मन वृंदावन संचारी भज मन यमुना तीर विहारी भज मन यमुना तीर विहारी भज मन राधा चेतोहारी भज मन राधा चेतोहारी भज मन राधे 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 गोविंदा भज मन राधे 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 गोविंदा भज मन राधे 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 गोविंदा भज मन राधे 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 गोविंदा भज मन 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 राधे गोविंदा। बोले राधावर कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. 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 Sharanam Mama. Sharanam Mama. Sharanam Mama. Sharanam Mama. Sharanam Mama. बोलिए श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। कृष्ण मुरारी जय कृष्ण मुरारी। 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 मुरलीधर पीतांबर धारी। मुरलीधर पीतांबर धारी। मुरलीधर पीतांबर धारी। मुरलीधर पीतांबर धारी। माई मीरा प्रभु गिरिधारी। 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 कृष्ण मुरारी जय कृष्ण मुरारी। कृष्ण मुरारी जय कृष्ण मुरारी। कृष्ण मुरारी कृष्ण मुरारे कृष्ण मुरारे जय कृष्ण मुरारे.
Hari Om everyone. Can you all hear me and see me clearly? Hope you all had a good week and a good weekend. Weekend usually is our weekday, the busiest time. But I eagerly look forward for the end in this CHYK class, wherein I get to meet all of you. And my request would be that you all turn the videos and we will begin. We are in the 18th chapter, Sadhana. And in this Sadhana chapter, we have seen the portions of Viveka and Vairagya. Shamadamadi Shatsampatti and Mukshutvam. A lot of details that have to be looked into, that we will be doing today. So we will get into it and look through what the sadhana that one has to do. First, let's begin with the simple prayer, invocation, and then Guru Brahma, and then we will jump directly into this. Let's start. ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. So what is Viveka and what is Vairagya? Viveka is the special ability of our intellect to be able to discriminate between what, again, because this is the beginning of the class, in American English the word discrimination is used for a completely different purpose, in mostly a derogatory manner. But here in Vedanta, when we use the word discrimination, it is to discriminate between that which is real and that which is unreal. Nitya, anitya, vastu, vivekaha. That with which we come to know what is nitya and what is anitya. In a material sense, I have already explained, to know what is required, what is not required, what is necessary, what is not necessary. We constantly do that. That is in the material sense. But in the Vedantic application, it is from the standpoint of understanding what is real and what is unreal, what is nitya and what is anitya. Nitya meaning that which is eternal, that which exists, that which has no end or the beginning, constantly exists, that is called nitya. And everything that which has a time of beginning and time of end, that would be called as anitya. That which is born, there is DOB, there is DOD. That which is manufactured will perish. So anything that which is temporary, that which is ephemeral, that which perishes can be called as anitya. Now, what should this wisdom of discrimination lead us to? This wisdom of discrimination should naturally evolve in our response, in our day-to-day action, in our understanding as vairagya. Vairagya cannot be in the framework of fake it till you make it. No, it cannot fall into that perspective. It will be a unnatural, pressured environment. It is like the pressure cooker where there is no gas to escape. The internal gas that builds. If there is no such mechanism for it to escape, it is a ticking bomb. It can burst. It can burst in a very ugly way. We also have, when we go through that, right? The internal pressures keep building up, and because of the wrong sense of vairagya. Supposing I want to say work on my physique, and I am aware that I am addicted to, say, lot of fried spicy stuff, and I indulge in it. So there is a friction every time there is a crunchy fried stuff that goes into my mouth. There is a friction, not between the teeth, internally. What is the friction? The friction is, I know this is bad. I know I am giving in. I know this will build. I had read a very beautiful sentence. Don't eat that which you do not want to wear. When that which we eat, when we start having deposits and we start wearing it on our body. So knowing that, and knowing that this crunchy spicy stuff that I am eating is good for this moment, but then there is this physique that I want to develop and it's going contradictory to that. Inside there is a regret. Inside there is guilt of that regret, and that weighs down us very heavily. This is just one example. Supposing we have to, simple things where we have to wake up in the morning. We decide and we go contradicting that every single morning. Every time I break my own promises to myself, there is layers of guilt that builds up, and it has to cave in one way or the other. The pressure is that much. So when we try to pressure ourselves into an environment which is unnatural, where the viveka is not translating into vairagya, but I have put myself in a confined environment which I am trying to fake it till I make it. Now that pressured environment will create ruptures within, which will create heaviness inside. But when viveka evolves, meaning when there is consistent clarity, the clarity evolves into conviction, and that conviction courageously steps in that whenever there is distraction from whatever be the goal, I stay firm without any wobbly nature. I stay firm. That ability to stay firm is called vairagya. We have seen so far. Vairagya is not like running away, I close my eyes, those 3 or 4 monkeys. So those monkeys, it is not a pressured environment that you have to close. Your eyes may be open, you're seeing it, but you're not distracted by it. See, when you are young, you must have had some dolls and toys and things, right? If anybody else touched it, it may be your own sibling, you will tear apart the entire apartment piece by piece. That is how high will be your decibel. And the wireless, it goes off. Remember those days? Hopefully you have been detached, having grown up. Because I see people, like when I see in airports, even a 25, 30-year-old carry dolls and sleep cuddling, and okay, I had to get used to that kind of a. Hopefully you have grown up. That toy, that doll, that thing that is there, maybe a kid has come to your house and that kid is playing. You would yourself go play with that kid and give that toy to them and enjoy them enjoying it. You're not cringing inside and, oh my God, my toy, oh my God, my. No. That distance that you're able to observe from a distance, and it doesn't dent you from inside. That is vairagya. Now, in order to support this further, there are these shamadhi shat sampatti, 6-fold. It is intertwined into one. Adi Shankaracharya is smart. He calls it 4, but in the 3rd step, he has 6 more added in as subsets. These 6 have been added in just so that we understand one evolves into the other, supporting each other. Therefore, it is a chain of good virtues that one has to develop. What are these? Shama, Dama, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam. Shama. Now, both this Shama and Dama I'll handle together. Shama is control of the mind, Dama is external discipline. Now, both of these factors have to benefit each other. It is like a feedback loop. There are some who have a strong will. They can enhance their external discipline. Some have very strong external discipline that enhances their internal will. So it is like a feedback loop, and it supports each other. It supports one from the external, supports the internal, or the internal supports the external. However the case may be, in your particular case, Shama is a strong will to have the conviction to stick by, that there is no wobbly nature that can destabilize us from inside. See, there are certain things in life where we have to sit down and think, should I not? Maybe I should, maybe I should not. So there is this internal dialogue that keeps happening. But for a goal of life, when you have ascertained, when like, say, supposing you're in med school, you're in your third year or fourth year, and at that point you were invited to a cook show. What is it called? Iron Man? No, Iron Chef. Iron Man is a completely different thing. So you go to that show and you fall like, this is amazing, I want to become a chef. By then you have already spent quite a lot of amount in getting through till the completion of third year. Again, it is a cringeworthy where the parents are tearing apart. Everybody is trying to advise, and you are like vehemently sitting. I have had to go through such cases with students that have that kind of a situation. So it is like an example that strikes. I may not reveal the name, place, and details, but have gone through such. Oh, the parents are completely torn apart. They are devastated. And this individual is like, "Nahi, I want to become a chef now." So finally, the conclusion is, first, let's see. Yeah, this is a new whim, right? New whim that has just started about a week ago. You went to this, and suddenly now there is a vehement thought that has come in, and you're giving a lot of value and validity to it. So when you have this long-term things, I know you will end up asking, what happened to that individual? Did that individual finish med school? Yes. The thing was, I said, first let us finish this med school. It's not like the chef's culinary school is running away anywhere. It is there. After this 1 year, if you still feel that intensity for it, you might choose it. But finish one first. Okay, we settled down for that. When this happened long time ago, about 12, 13 years ago. And now that person is done with the residency, fellowship, is a doctor, is actually a mom now, and probably ends up cooking. And I teasingly ask sometimes, hey, how is your cooking thing coming? Swamiji, don't tease me on that. Don't tease me on that, because I don't get time to sit down to either cook nor to eat. I said, are you happy with where you are? And I'm glad that I finished it and I continued to pursue it. The point is, when there are these long-term, your conviction has to be strong for it. And this, in Vedanta, when we are talking about Nitya Anitya, the conviction has to be absolute. There cannot be any wobbly nature in between. That this is the priority, rest of them become either secondary or tertiary. It's not that they've been abandoned, but the priority changes. What becomes your focal point and what becomes the subsets of it. And that conviction at the mind level is called the Shama, to have the strong will. And it is with this strong will that you see it in many sports persons. I was reading a story of a lady who, at that point, this is probably about 3 or 4 or maybe 5, not more than that. She got a Padma Shri or Padma Bhushan in India, and she was 107 years old at that point. And for 61 years of her life, she has gone into the wilderness and planted some 3 million trees or something like that, and grown several groves and forests in Karnataka, single-handedly, all by herself. I mean, when her husband was alive, he was also participating in it. But it is like daily about certain amount of trees have to be planted. She would go plant them, water them, and next day go water these plants of yesterday and day before, and then add 10 more each day. The certain amount keeps adding in. That whole area has become like a sanctuary for birds, sanctuary for wild animals. Imagine, for how many years has she consistently done that? That strong will, wherein this is for the amazing greatness and goodness of the entire environment. Therefore, I commit to that unwaveringly. That is called Shama, control of mind, where it doesn't waver away. Now, along with the internal strong will and conviction to not waver and to have that control, to have that focus, what will help is the external discipline. What is the external discipline? Habits that one has to develop. When people said, "Oh, Swamiji, with the sadhana, I'm not feeling the connection. I used to have that connection. I don't know why I don't feel connected. And when I don't feel connected, I feel so mechanical, I've stopped doing it." Dang it. Just because you feel mechanical, do you give up eating? You probably would not remember what you ate last week or last month. But this is something as the system has to be sustained. So therefore, you repeat it. And you may not like the same dal, same sabji and same chawal every single day, the nth time repeated. So you did it. I'm sure with your parents when they were cooking and feeding, and you had those tantrum days. Now that you are independent, you are by yourself in your apartment. Now you have to, fend for yourself, cook for yourself. Isn't it irony that you miss those very things that you are reacting to? And now day in and day out, it's like, at least I have something warm, something fresh. I'm fine with it. You don't give up on it. Yes, sometimes the mind is distracted or not in groove. And at that point, what helps is when we have some external discipline. Now, when you have external discipline versus when you don't have external discipline, the argument is, I seem to be functioning fine without even the external things. I don't have to make my bed. I don't have to keep things clean. I don't have to, things happen. I am still surviving. Everything is fine, but our life has several twists to it. Something unfortunate happens, something upsetting happens, and I'm completely distraught, I'm completely distracted, I'm thrown off the rails. It is at that point that discipline, that which we have pre-instilled, kicks in. It puts us back in shape faster than anyone else who can go through that situation in the same condition. Those who have that discipline are able to get back into the groove, get back onto the rails. Yes, life unexpected things happen. When such unexpected things happen, takes us by surprise and we are thrown off, how does one get back? That pre-instilled discipline is what pulls us back in place. That is the protective gear that one has to develop. Can anybody promise that unfortunate, sudden surprises, sudden shocking things will not happen to us as an individual? Then we are being naive. Life will test us. If you have not already been tested, life will test us. It is at that point what helps is the discipline which is pre-ingrained. So Shama, Dama. Then comes Uparati. Uparati is to know how much to engage oneself in something and when to be able to withdraw and withdraw consciously. Now, supposing I was in an environment where there were a lot of kids, and there were these one or two kids who would sit with the adults when they were having a conversation and butt in every so often, and it's the parents that have to give them those scary eyes and looks and say, shh, no. To not know when to stop, when not to participate, when to withdraw. That is only with the speech. With every organ of perception and action, to know where is the limit, when my responsibility is done, when I have to withdraw, when I have to quieten myself, when is it a good environment for me to put a stop to something and withdraw because my responsibility is done. When we don't learn this, usually there is like, if I were you, you are not. Stay the heck out. The free service, advice service, unless you are asked for, you don't need to even participate. If it is not your responsibility. And don't take it into some God-forsaken situation and do a SWOT analysis of this. Is with the regular day-to-day simple things that are happening, one should know, when do I stop, when do I withdraw. The mind has to have those pockets of quietude that one has to develop consciously. Just because there are pockets of it, I don't need to fill in with the trash. I don't need to at that point pull out my phone and then start checking Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, TukTik, whatever those new apps are, and YouTube Shorts and Vibe, and I don't. And before you realize, like 3 hours have passed by. Those little pockets, treasure them. Everybody has those pockets where there is no pressure of the responsibility that has to be. If you don't have it, especially when you are studying, when you are preparing and doing a job on the side, it's very difficult to find that pocket. When you do get that pocket of moment, just 2 to 5 minutes, drink a glass of water, sit down quietly, calm yourself up. Find that peace, ground yourself. Uparati. Rati is indulgence. Uparati, upashamanam, from the rati. Like you're withdrawing from jumping and indulging into something. Then comes my favorite. Titiksha. In contrast, I will use another word which is not a part of this list. One is called tapasya, the other is called titiksha. Tapa means heat. Tapasya means penance, meaning you have created that situation for yourself and put yourself to the task of going through that heat. You have invoked that environment. I will not eat salt and sour for next 14 days. Navaratri, I will only drink water. I know several people that survive by water. I know of a couple of them who just survive with 1 glass of water per day. Severe penance. That is called tapasya. You're invoking that kind of an environment and you're sticking by. The other aspect is titiksha. Titiksha is life loves to throw amazing twists and turns into our face. Unexpected corners, things start popping up. It is at that point where things are not in our control. Things are not in that which we cannot escape either. It's not in our control, nor can we escape. That's called life. That's called our experience as it unfolds. At that point, how do we go through that situation? What is the tenacity with which we go through that situation? What is the mindset that which we go through that situation? That is called titiksha. That which cannot be changed has to be endured. It sounds very painful. I said that which cannot be changed, find a method to enjoy it. But one should know what is it that cannot be changed. You must have heard this example earlier, but I'll repeat it. So there was this camp and this Balvihar kid was sitting right in front of me. I was sitting at the way end. If I am not speaking, that is where I am. I'm one of the backbenchers, so I'm sitting at way back and I'm observing the kids. So in the front, there are these volunteers. In the back, all the Swamins and Brahmacharins are sitting. There are only 4 doors to that. The front 2 doors are the volunteers seated. The back 2 doors are the Swamins and Brahmacharins. In between us, the whole hall filled with, but I would say 4th, 5th, 6th graders. About a bunch of 75, 80 of them. And in the evening, this is a camp, a day camp, not a residential one. So in the evening, we would end with bhajans and arati. So on one day, this Amma came, and you should imagine, morning 8:30, these kids have come. This is already 5:30. They are already on their edge, losing all their energies. They have already been wiped out clean. Yes, they have been fed, but they are wiped out clean. And they're ready to jump off in a car and go back home. And this Amma volunteer comes and says, I will do the bhajans for today. I am a singer. So she comes with the harmonium. And setting up that harmonium, we are setting it up, and then it itself took about 3 to 4 minutes. And then she starts. Do you know the bhajan? प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम राम राम, and then harmonium in between. These are 4th, 5th, 6th graders, for God's sake. Already tired, end of their day. You need a participation from them. You make it a little fast beat, a peppy, beat, and it may be the same song, but keep them engaged. If you go this low, even adults will fall asleep. What to talk about the kids? And there was this huge pressure of restlessness you could see in these kids. So while this was happening, right in front of me, there was this kid who would every 3 minutes or so, or 2 minutes or so, he would giggle to himself. Amidst of this kind of a pressured, unescapable environment, unchangeable environment, if there is a kid who is giggling, definitely up to a mischief. I realign myself to see what was the mischief that he was up to. I didn't want to jump in and say, "Hey, kya kar rahe ho?" No, I just wanted to observe. Well, fourth, fifth grade, that too in US, what kind of masti will they do? What I saw surprised me. He had pulled one of the threads from the carpet, nicely strung it together, and then he took his foot into his own lap and he would tickle himself. This is called stress management. And that environment was stressing everybody out. And he knew how to manage that which has to be endured. Find a method to humor yourself. He knew how to tickle himself to joy. Every 2 minutes or so, he would keep tickling and he's like, not that he was not paying attention. I should give him that credit too. Because suddenly when Sri Rama Rama Ram, he started, he turned to his friend and says, "This goes on and on and on, on and on and on." Everybody thought he was, in the chorus singing, but this is what he was singing. To know that when things are getting tough, life it will have challenges. Don't get too zoomed in, sucked in into the situation where you cannot see it from any other perspective to cherish that hardship that you're going through. See, when the metal knife or a blade has to become stronger, it goes through several rounds of extreme heat to sudden cold. So these pairs of opposites, once the metal goes through, the piece of steel goes through that treatment, it becomes strong, the edge becomes strong. Otherwise it becomes very brittle because of so much of heat process, it becomes brittle. We don't want to become brittle. We want to have the sharp edge and the strength of it, of the mind. So when we go through these tough times, to be able to have this forbearance, to have this endurance, that even this shall pass. Until it passes, let me find a way to enjoy or entertain or amuse myself through this tough situation. And the one who knows how to humor himself through tough times, when their depth increases amazingly multifold immediately. Especially if you have the courage to poke fun at yourself. You don't become a touch me not or a poison ivy. Have you seen these plants where you touch the leaf? It is the warmth of our hand. As soon as it feels, it goes back into a closed position, and then when it feels safe, it opens up. We become touch me nots. That plant is called a touch me not. We become a touch me not. Don't touch me, don't talk to me, don't mess with me right now. I am in a mess. Or we become poison ivy. That anybody messes with me, I will make sure that your life is miserable. You'll be itching all the way, all through the night. And these are the personalities. But if you have the courage to poke fun at your cost, that's why I like, I've said this probably. One of the most of these stand-up comedians in US have filthiest mouth. Man, I couldn't stand their vocabulary because there is less of humor and more of cuss words. But there is this one fellow who is a very good mimicry artist and is a very good storyteller, good narrator. He is extremely fat. When he wouldn't agree with it, he would say, I am not, friends, I am not fat. I am fluffy all over. He goes by the nickname Fluffy. I think his name is Gabriel Iglesias. I mean, there are thousands of people watching you, thousands of people seeing you. Being fat, being obese, being body shamed, being, there is a whole slew of things. But he has the courage to stand in front of those entire crowd after crowd, have the spotlight on him and says, don't call me, don't insult me by calling me fat. I am not. I am fluffy all over. Now, when you have poked fun at yourself, what else can others do to you? That mindset is called titiksha. That you don't end up seeing it as a painful process of endurance or forbearance, but you know how to humor yourself through these tough situations. Next comes Shraddha. I would not translate this word into a singular word in English, though the book has attempted to do that. Is it faith? Maybe. Is it trust? Maybe. Is it, I mean, you could put so many shades of words of meaning. It would mean that, but it would not completely suffice the entire depth of that word. What does Shraddha mean? To have complete confidence in the following: Shastra, Guru, Deva, and in yourself. Shastra, which points at the highest truth. That which the Shastra is pointing, Guru, is the bridge that connects us to that within ourselves. And Deva is the point where we are trying to reach to. And all of this can happen only if I have confidence, trust, faith in myself as well. So when we have confidence, trust, and faith in Shastra, the scriptures, therefore I'm not talking about some self-help book here. I'm talking about the scriptural knowledge, scriptural wisdom. Vedic, Vedantic knowledge, that is alone what I'm talking about, Shastra. Then Shastra, Guru, Deva, and within oneself. When all these 4 pointers merge at that point, that kind of confidence, trust, and faith built within internal environment is called Shraddha. How does one build Shraddha? Therefore, when somebody says, oh, Guru is a concept, Guru is the higher intelligence within ourselves, blah, blah, blah. Not for an initial seeker. It is for that seeker who has found a trace of peace within and can now independently pursue. For that matured seeker, yes, the internal guide becomes that guru instilled within. Until we reach there, we need one who can connect us, push us, take us to that direction. So all these four factors, when they merge in with complete trust, faith, and confidence, that is called Shraddha. And finally, tranquility. I would say that this tranquility comes with experience. Nothing from the internal prescription probably would bring us to that. I'll give you an example. You can see very clearly that a set of parents have a child or children. So you can see how they are handling that child. You can tell whether it is their first kid or it is their second kid, the toddlers, I mean, or the third kid, the first kid. I mean, the doctors share this with me, especially the ER ones. Uh, the nose is clogged, the child is severe cold, and immediately they reach to ER. So they can clearly see that this parent is a first time parent and is very scared, and the parent is taught, oh yeah, this is nothing serious, just rub this particular oil and it'll ease up, and maybe give them this medicine, this syrup or something, and they should be fine, and you can get all of this over the counter. So my observation is, the first kid, when the pacifier falls off their mouth, the child's mouth, it's not the end of the world. But the first time parents, that is how they would treat it. They would pick it up, put it in hot boiling water for 2 minutes, and then wait for it to get cold, make sure touch it, and then plug it back into the kid. The moment it is second kid, you're now experienced. You've gone through the first one. So by the time it is second kid, what do? You just pick it up, 5-second rule, dust it off, plug it back in. By the third kid, you have now matured even further. You stare at the kid until the kid gives you the eye contact. And then through your eyes, you'll not even yell, you'll not even shout. You look at the kid and make a sign through your eyes, pick it up. And the kid picks it up, crawls there, picks it up, puts it back in, done. How did you come to that level wherein you did not freak out if it, you know what to freak out about? How? Because your experience has taught. You have gone through enough, and you've been matured through enough experiences that things in life don't agitate you further. People, their behavior, their attitudes, or the labyrinth of expectations, these things don't agitate. That state is called samadhanam, samyak adhanam. You are well grounded, balanced. Now from shamadama to samadhanam, when one has, it enhances my vairagya. With this preparation, with this prepared mind, with this prepared internal equipment, when one, the fourth point is mumukshutvam, a burning intense desire for moksha. liberating oneself from all limitations, inside, outside. Then such prepared mind, when goes to the Guru and Guru points at the Upanishadic wisdom, then what happens is the internal withdrawal of the student to sit quietly in one corner and meditate upon nididhyasana. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana happens. Swamiji teach meditation. Meditation will bear fruit once we have these qualities. If not, it will be an act wherein you sit in a straight position, closed eyes, but internally what is happening, only you can witness it. Constantly happening. That is not meditation. Meditation is you have that inner equipoise, you have the sanctuary of peace within, and in that, when you sit down, you withdraw everything, not distracted by anything, and that which is pointed by the Upanishad, you revel in it. That is called meditation. At least that which is pointed in our Hindu dharma, in the Hindu Vedantic principle. So these are the preparations of the individual that has to go in when this entire Vedantic wisdom is well settled in, and in this very life that sadhaka can assuredly bask in the glorious experience of their own true nature. I think I will stop here. We have kind of completed this particular chapter. So next week is your questions with regards to the last lecture and this one. So please send them my way by Thursday, and we will discuss on that next week. So Hemant, can you enthrall us with Hanuman Chalisa in a good, amazing, peppy tune? Not Rama, Rama, Rama. Hurry.
Yes.
Let me just put a spotlight there. Thank you, Doc. Continue.
Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raja Nija Mana Mukura Sudari Barano Raghuvar Bimalesha Jodhayak Falachari Buddhihina Tanu Janike Sumira Pavana Kumar Balabudhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Harahu Kalesa Vikar Jai Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagar Jai Kapishati Huloka Hujaga Ramaduta Hatulita Baladhama Anjani Putra Pavana Sutanama Mahavira Vikrama Pajarangi Kumati Nivara Sumati Kesangi Kanjana Varna Viraja Suvesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa Hatu Vajra Gaja Biraje कांधे मूंज जनेयु साज शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर समारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे, लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए, रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई, सहस वदन तुम रोजस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे, सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा, यम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते, तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीना, राम मिलाय राजपद दीना, तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना, युग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानु, प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, चल दिलांघि गए अचरज नाहि, दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे देते, राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे, सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना, आपन तेज सवारो आपे, तीनों लोक हाकते कांपे, भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे, नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा, संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम बचन ध्यान जो लावे, सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे, चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा, साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे, अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता, राम रसायन तुमरे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा, तुमरे भजन राम को भावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे, अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई, और देवता चित्त न धरई, हनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करई, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलवीरा, जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करौ गुरुदेव की नाई, जो शत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंधि महासुख होई, जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होई सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा, तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा, पवन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप, राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय।
Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki Jai. Thank you, Da. Let us conclude with Shanti Patha. And please post your questions by Thursday evening. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ Take care everyone, have a great week ahead, see you in next satsang. Hari Om.